For decades, researchers have been trying to communicate with Bigfoot. But have you ever wondered who he is trying to communicate with?
At 51, Dr. Mireya Mayor confessed what many suspected during her latest Expedition Bigfoot quest. A terrifying howl in the night has their team on high alert. As they venture deeper into the pitch-black forest, each echo and shadow fuels their rush of adrenaline.
What in the heck? Thing was up in the tree. Something was up in that tree right there.
With hearts racing, they rely on their thermal cameras, peering into the darkness, desperate to catch a glimpse of the elusive Bigfoot. Could this be the moment they prove Bigfoot's existence? Tune in. Let's discover the secrets that the eerie howl holds. The quest for Bigfoot. Dr. Mireya Mayor is a well-known primatologist and wildlife expert specializing in primates and exploring tough landscapes. She's on the hunt again with her team from Expedition Bigfoot, continuing their search for the legendary creature. This isn't surprising, as many people have tried to prove Bigfoot's existence for years. Long before Europeans arrived in North America, indigenous peoples already had stories of this strange creature. Over time, many have traveled across the forests of America and Canada hoping to find it. As night falls in the dense Pacific Northwest forest, Dr. Mayor and her team hear a chilling, unrecognizable howl, a sound that might finally lead them to Bigfoot. Imagine what it must have been like for her team on one of their expeditions, walking through thick forests with cameras in hand. They must have wondered if they'd ever come across this creature while trekking through the vast woodlands of North America. Their plan was to explore every inch of these dense forests before making any conclusions about Bigfoot. Luckily, the team had thermal imaging technology, which helped them see in the dark. Team members like Mark and Russell led the way, hoping the equipment might even capture a clear image of Bigfoot if they found it. Even though the odds were low, they were determined to cover every bit of the area using their tools. But just when they thought the night would be uneventful, something unexpected happened. As they pushed through the dense woods, their thermal camera picked up a large heat signature near a tree on the far side of the forest. It was intense and startling. The whole team, including Dr. Mireya Mayor, was taken aback by what they saw. The heat signature was so clear that it looked like they might be staring right into the creature's eyes. For a few seconds, they stood in shock, trying to make sense of what was on their screen. Then, as they steadied themselves, they realized they were indeed looking at something hiding in the woods. They hoped it wasn't a dangerous predator hiding nearby waiting to attack. They wished it was Bigfoot, the creature they were actually looking for. Even though the situation felt intense, they soon realized this was just the beginning of their adventure in the dark woods. Soon they noticed that whatever it was had climbed up to a high branch above them. This discovery left them shocked and uneasy, making them feel exposed. Luckily, they managed to calm themselves down just enough to think that maybe this creature was as scared of them as they were of it. When they pulled themselves together, they saw that it had already moved from the high branch. Where it went was a mystery, but they could see that the heat it left behind was fading fast. If they wanted to keep following it, they needed to move quickly. The night grew darker, and they weren't alone. An expedition into Bigfoot's domain. First, they had to settle their nerves. Once they did, they took a moment to confirm that they weren't dealing with a regular forest animal. It was freezing cold that night, and not many animals could climb up a tree in those conditions. Only a few could manage it, making them feel both nervous and excited. The remaining heat mark on the tree was proof they were being followed by something. They still couldn't say exactly what it was, but they believed it might be Bigfoot. With the clues they had found along the way, their spirits lifted, making them more determined to keep going. They wanted to get to the bottom of this mystery, but continuing deeper into the woods gave them an eerie feeling that they were being watched. They tried to stay focused, but the situation got stranger when they stumbled upon a weird formation of upside-down trees arranged like a triangle. This creepy sight made their nerves even worse, especially as they neared the old logging site, an area that caught Bryce's attention, one of the team members from Expedition Bigfoot. He found this spot interesting because of the many strange accidents and disappearances in the island's dense forests. Bryce's curiosity grew when they finally reached the logging site. He was eager to dig deeper and see if this place had any link to Bigfoot. He felt this was his chance to explore clues that others might have missed. In the old logging site, Bryce and his team knew that finding out the truth about Bigfoot would need them to try something bold. They were determined to succeed where others had failed, so they took on the challenge and began searching the empty, quiet area, hoping to find any clues that others might have missed. They wondered if earlier search teams, even the police, might have overlooked some important evidence. Even though some of them were doubtful, there was a tense feeling in the air as they moved through the thick forest. It almost felt like they were being watched. Was the creature observing them from the shadows? Despite the fear, Bryce, Mayor, and the rest of the group showed a lot of bravery. They knew they had to push through their fears to find what they were looking for. Bryce, in particular, was interested in checking out a part of the logging area that seemed to have been ignored by others. But that wasn't the worst part. Realizing that Bigfoot might actually be following them made things even more intense. Despite this, the team felt like they were closer than ever to proving the creature was real. So they pushed on, even though the idea of being hunted made their hearts race. As they went deeper into the woods, strange sounds echoed around them, reminding them why they were there. Each noise seemed to pull them back to their mission. They were determined to find proof, even if it meant staying in the dark forest all night with something unknown lurking around. Yet as they continued, doubt started creeping in. Maybe they were imagining things. Could it be that they were just scaring themselves into thinking Bigfoot was following them? Or even worse, could something more dangerous be out there? This thought made everyone uneasy. They tried to convince themselves it was just an owl or a small animal, but their growing sense of fear made it hard to stay calm. And with each step deeper into the forest, their anxiety grew. But one thing was clear. They wouldn't stop until they found the truth, no matter what was out there. With new clues and many questions, they pushed on as the sun rose. In pursuit of a strange creature. The search for Bigfoot has always been filled with mystery and excitement. This creature has fascinated people for a long time, and scientists and enthusiasts are curious to know if it really exists. One group of researchers decided to team up and focus all their energy on finding out the truth about this legendary creature. They knew from the start that it wouldn't be easy, but they were determined to face any challenges that came their way. Every day, the team put in a lot of effort exploring dense forests and looking for any signs that might show Bigfoot's presence. They dealt with bad weather, tricky paths, and many false alarms. But their commitment stayed strong. They believed that if they kept searching, they might find something that would finally prove that Bigfoot is more than just a story. After several weeks, they found some clues that gave them hope. They discovered large footprints, heard strange noises at night, and saw unusual marks on trees. Each small discovery made them more confident that they were getting closer to the truth. These clues led them to new areas, including Northern California and Alaska. These places had many stories and rumors of Bigfoot sightings. People talked about huge footprints, strange noises, and shadowy figures seen deep in the woods. But the team didn't want to rely on stories alone. They needed real evidence. One day, while searching in the forests of Northern California, they stumbled upon something surprising. 2 huge nests hidden deep in the woods. These nests were made from branches and leaves, and they were much larger than any animal nest the team had seen before. They quickly started studying the nests, hoping to find more clues. Then they found something interesting: strange hairs stuck in the nests. At first, they thought the hairs belonged to common animals like bears or wolves. After all, these forests are full of wildlife. But they soon realized they were wrong. But this wasn't the hardest part. Finding proof was one thing, but dealing with people who doubted them was another challenge. Many in the scientific community see the search for Bigfoot as a waste of time. They think any evidence will turn out to be false or just a mistake. The team knew they had to be very careful with their findings. One mistake could ruin their entire effort. So they made sure to follow every step properly, take clear notes, and keep everything well documented. They wanted their research to be taken seriously, even if some people thought they were just chasing a legend. While waiting for the results on the hairs, the team decided to head to Alaska. This place had its own challenges: rough landscapes, unpredictable weather, and many wild animals. But they believed that if Bigfoot was real, Alaska would be a perfect place for it to hide. There they found something new: a set of giant footprints in the snow leading deep into the forest. The prints looked fresh, as if the creature had just passed through. The team followed the trail carefully, setting up camps along the way and using cameras and sound recorders to track any signs of movement. One night, they captured strange low growls on their audio devices, sounds that didn't match any known animals. The team felt they were on the verge of a big discovery, but they stayed cautious. They wanted to be absolutely sure of what they were dealing with. The deeper they went, the more mysterious things became. clues in the darkness. Even with promising clues, the search for Bigfoot is far from over. The team knows they still need stronger proof before they can say for sure that Bigfoot exists. They continue to study the hair samples, listen to the audio recordings, and look for new sightings. Every small discovery is important, but there are still many questions left unanswered. The team has also started reaching out to other researchers and communities, hoping to share information and build a network. They believe that by working together, they might find better clues. They are also trying to use new technology, like drones and better cameras, to help capture more evidence. But this is not the end. The journey is long and challenging, and they know it might take many more days and nights in the forest before they can find a clear answer. The search for Bigfoot is about more than just proving a creature exists. It's a journey of discovery, testing patience and curiosity. Each small clue is like a piece of a puzzle that slowly comes together. Whether or not they find Bigfoot, the search itself is teaching them a lot about nature and the limits of human curiosity. The team knows they might not find the answer soon, but they won't stop. They will continue to explore through forests and mountains, through doubts and disbelief, until they get the answers they are looking for, or until they can finally say for sure what the truth about Bigfoot really is. And who knows, maybe one day they will find the answer we've all been waiting for. Until then, the search goes on. Researchers found a very strange strand of hair, and it left them puzzled. They didn't know where it came from or what animal it belonged to. Some started to wonder, could this be from Bigfoot? They couldn't say for sure, but they thought it might be an important clue for future research. Some even went further, saying it might be the first real sign that Bigfoot, a creature often talked about in legends, could actually exist in the forests of North America. Just thinking about this possibility was enough to make everyone excited and eager to learn more. But the mystery didn't stop with just that single hair. The researchers met a man who had his own strange story to tell about Bigfoot. He told them about a group of loggers who once ran away from their work site after hearing very odd and scary sounds coming from deep in the woods. According to the man, the sound was like a woman screaming, a sound that was creepy on its own, but even more terrifying because there weren't any women nearby that day. This strange story made Dr. Mireya and her team even more curious. Now they really wanted to find out what was going on. With this story in mind, the team decided to go to a place where more strange things had been reported, Prince of Wales Island in Alaska. It's a huge, wild place, full of dense forests and rocky mountains, making it a perfect hiding spot for a creature like Bigfoot. Getting there wasn't easy. They had to travel through tough terrain and deep woods. But they were determined because this could be their best chance to find out the truth about Bigfoot. This was no simple hike. They were heading into an area that few people had ever explored. The area they were searching covered 60,000 acres in the middle of a remote mountain range. Once they arrived, they quickly realized why this place had so many strange stories tied to it. The forest was thick and shadowy, and there was a feeling that something unseen might be watching. For years, people had reported seeing weird things in these woods, but no one had ever been able to prove it. Now it was up to them to see if there was something real behind all these tales. The forest was quiet as they went deeper, every clue pulling them in. Footsteps in the forest. After all, anyone could get scared by strange noises in the dark. What really made this trip challenging was trying to separate truth from fiction. Dr. Mireya's team wanted hard evidence. Footprints, fur, or sounds recorded on their equipment. They wanted to find something that could finally solve the mystery of whether Bigfoot is real or just a story people tell around campfires. And then something unexpected happened. The researchers noticed strange signs, footprints much larger than any animal they knew of, and odd marks on trees that looked like something strong had scratched them. This was exciting, but at the same time, they knew they were only getting closer to more questions. If Bigfoot was out there, it was very good at hiding. But that wasn't the worst part. The team started feeling like the woods themselves were hiding secrets. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig felt like a sign that something big was moving around them. They set up cameras that would turn on when they sensed movement, and they placed bait around, hoping to lure the creature out. Day after day, they explored deeper into the woods, looking for clues. The place was so isolated that they could hardly get any supplies, and the weather often turned against them. But no matter what, they pressed on, determined to make a breakthrough. Soon they found something even stranger. an area covered in bones, scattered and arranged in odd ways. It didn't look natural. It was enough to send a shiver down even the bravest team member's spine. But they didn't stop. The thought of finding something that had been a mystery for centuries was too powerful. If they could just find one solid piece of proof, it would change everything people thought they knew about what was hidden in these forests. They realized that what they found could not only confirm Bigfoot's existence, but also reveal a hidden world that people didn't even know existed. One night as they continued their search, something very surprising happened. One of the team members spotted a dark shape moving quickly through the trees. It was too fast to catch, but it looked like a large, furry figure. They rushed toward it, cameras ready, but by the time they got there, it was gone. Still, there was one thing left behind. Huge footprints, twice the size of a human's foot, pressed deep into the ground. The shape and size didn't match anything they had ever seen before. Could this finally be the proof they were looking for? But even then, they had no time to celebrate. The team was thrilled, but also a little nervous. It was clear that if Bigfoot was real, it was smarter and more aware than they had thought. This wasn't just some animal. It seemed to know its territory well and had managed to stay hidden for many years. The implications were huge. They were no longer just looking for a creature. They were starting to feel like they were searching for something almost human in its intelligence. This was a discovery that could rewrite everything people thought they knew. Yet they knew there was still more to find. As they began to pack up, getting ready to return, none of them could shake the feeling that something was out there, watching them. The woods were silent, but the silence itself felt heavy, like the trees were holding their breath. With all the strange evidence they had gathered, footprints, strange markings, and odd noises, the researchers knew they were far from solving the mystery. They had come close, but not close enough. And as they left the forest behind, one thought stayed with them. The search for Bigfoot wasn't over yet. If anything, it was just beginning. What if Bigfoot represents an undiscovered branch of human evolution? Like, comment, and subscribe for more.